They're attacking me right now, I believe. It's like they can inflate these things or something. I don't know how it's done. But they're in my mouth. They're right on the tip of my tongue, so I have something. There's something there. It feels like a little thin line. Like thinner than fucking tooth floss. Really small. Like it's like I got a hair on the tip of my tongue, but it's thinner than hair. And it's stuck on the tip of my tongue. These guys have gone into my tongue and down into my chest. I really do feel like these are microscopic devices that are using that whatever third form of magnetism is to move around. Yeah, they're moving it around in my mouth. So I definitely grabbed something there. I can feel something between my fingers, like a little ball thing on a string.
I mean, you said you said you don't know what Donald Trump will do next.
And I can feel tension on my fingers, in between my fingertips.
I mean, there was the meeting.
Like I'm pulling something.
Is there any process or track here?
So they're all up in my mouth, all up in my face, all up in my body, violating my bodily autonomy. Now, this is the American military that's doing this with classified military technology. It very well could be with the help of the Canadian Armed Forces, but by the looks of what I've been seeing, it's been multinational. I've dealt with Jews, I've dealt with South Americans, and there's seriously some sort of fucking gladio, a domestic gladio that's going on, where they partnered up with organized crime, and they now work together.
A lot of the individual subjects have been discussed, though. We've been discussing concepts of
That's what I'm dealing with. It's my reality. It's what I get to deal with. These are the cards that I've been dealt, apparently. Like, they're moving it around in my mouth. Like, I keep feeling it on different parts of my tongue. And I'm tasting a lot of blood right now.
Now we're going to see whether or not.
Like, I can feel something in the back of my mouth that I'm grabbing and pulling out. But the weird part is, I go to reach for the same spot again, and I'm grabbing the same stuff. But they're currently playing in my mouth right now. I have this line, like a Joker scar, but on the inside of my mouth. It goes to here, on the inside of my mouth. It's just this indent of a line I can't explain.
My guess is that Trump and his team simply haven't decided yet on exactly what they want to do. And now Putin is challenging them to make a decision.
Yeah, so I definitely grabbed something. And they're definitely moving it around.
It's funny because Zelensky is silent.
And this is cloaked.
Russia being silent.
You can only feel it. So no one's going to want to believe me. I need to go to the hospital because of how in my body they are and how they have it hanging over my jugular. There's so much that they've done to me and that they continue to do to me, and they continue to do to my cat and to Ariel. It is absolutely awful what the military and the mafia and the police are doing. Because I know it's law enforcement, I know it's military that are doing all the neural monitoring. I believe the police are being told via fusion centers and their synthetic telepathy capabilities, they're being informed in their heads about the situation at hand. But they COINTELPRO'd me because my gang stalkers consist of police, soldiers, and mafia. Those are the gang stalkers everybody's complaining about. online, on the internet. It's a government tactic to enforce behavioral modification. They think because they don't see us as human beings, us lower class folk, us poor people, we're too uneducated, we're too brutish, we're too awful as people that they need to do things like this to poor people. I don't know. Like, I can't understand their mindset. I can't understand why they would want to do this to people, especially when it violates my charter. And I know it's the American military doing this so the police can wash their hands and Pontius Pilate this and say it's not us, even though there is an open investigation under my name, which is not allowing me to get any legal representation here in Toronto. I know it's law enforcement that they are well aware of the V2K technology. They're just not telling anybody. People need to be informed because the dangers of voice to skull, they are making people off themselves. They're getting people to harm themselves and to harm others. They've been hacking my body so they can do something really awful. I'm going to be accused, probably, of doing something awful, but it won't be me that's doing it. I'm pretty much a pacifist. I'm not going to do anything. I'm too powerless to do anything to understand. Like, I can't take on the military. I can't take on the police. And I can't take on the mafia. I'm by myself here. And they've targeted my fucking family. My brother's dealing with the same fucking shit. Except it's people in the fucking police in Manitoba that are doing this to him. The Crown prosecutors, they're all in on it. And what really gets to me is I keep reading news articles of police officers not getting charged for violating people's rights, for kicking in fucking heads, for shooting and killing babies. They're not getting any charges. No, we're not going to pursue any criminal matters, says the Crown. Just to go show you how corrupt our country, our judicial system has become. Police are completely unaccountable for all the things that they do, and they are taking people out. They are destroying people's lives, and they are sticking them with classified military technology like they've done with me, as they continue to neurally monitor me 24 hours a day. I'm being watched in my own apartment. It really does feel like it. And I know it is, because I've gone to freak out when they've been torturing me in my own apartment to kick down the fucking door above me and below me. Because that's where they're coming around to fucking drop these fucking things through the ceiling. This thing passes through my body like it's nothing. How the fuck is that even possible? It was like a ball that melted through my arms and my legs and into my chest, into my face. It's the military, though, and they work with the mafia and they work with the police, and they don't want people to know this. So I'm being heavily censored. There's a whole bunch of strikes on me because I'm speaking out against the police and against police corruption and government corruption, because politicians are complicit in this. Politicians tell the police what to do, and our fucking premier operates this fucking province as if he's a mafia don.
It leads to ridiculous, stories like this, and warrants that are.
Police know they will not be held accountable. They can kick in skulls. Native kid, teen, 18, kicked in his skull. Life-altering fucking injuries. They had to put a metal plate in. His skull caved in. Kicked his head like a soccer ball after he made him crawl to him. He made him crawl to him. He kicked him in the head. And they're not pursuing any charges. The cop, SIU or whatever, looked into it. This happened in Edmonton. They're not doing a thing because the kid was native. I'm sure it would be a completely different story if the kid was white. It goes to show you how racist our judicial system still very much is, as if Aboriginal people aren't getting longer sentences than everybody else for the same crimes. Aboriginal women make up, I think, 60% of all women in jail, and they get higher sentences than anybody else. They get the worst sentences than any other demographic, any other race, any other, even for males too. It's 1 in 3 for females, and it's 1 in 4 for males, for Aboriginal people in jail. Not only that, but the police have killed over 9 Aboriginal people here in Canada this year, in the past 6 months or so. Over the summer, and it started over the summer. But in like the past 6 or 8 months, man, they've killed like 9 Aboriginal people, shot and killed. There's an uptick in police killings here in Canada, and nobody's willing to talk about it. Nobody's willing to talk about police corruption. Now, I am well in tune of what these fucking assholes are doing, and I know exactly what they're doing to me. I know how they operate. They'll COINTELPRO you and get the mafia to do all their dirty work. They work with the mafia. They're partners. They're co-workers. TPS is inherently corrupt. All of our police officers are corrupt. It's as if they legalized corruption within the police forces, because they're getting away with hurting all sorts of people, and that just tells them that they can continue to get away with doing it. And not only that, but we have correctional officers killing inmates in New York, and we have the police backing them up. Motherfuckers. They just stuck something in my mouth. It's like they're fishing it in. Now, I have a pretty good idea on how to approach this going to a hospital, because you can't see it, so they're not going to believe it. And the police have continuously labeled this as a mental health issue, so it shows up in my medical records as a mental health issue. And it's not going to get me. They're making sure that I don't get the proper health care that I need, because this is pretty much a medical emergency with the way that they've put this stuff all throughout my body, all throughout my lungs. I felt it the day they put it all in my lungs. Like, seriously, they went like this, like moved it all around my lungs, all around it. This is DARPA level fucking technology. It's cloaked. It's stretchy. It's gooey. It's blobbish. I can't take it off my face. I can't get it out of my mouth. And I'm continuously feeling this fucking microscopic line all over my tongue, at the tip of my tongue, moving around. It's awful what the military is doing to people, and they don't respect human rights. And not only that, but YouTube and Google are just extensions of the intelligence community. So the military controls Google, controls all social media apps, and they are silencing people like me that are targeted. Because that's what I am, a targeted individual. This is what targeted individuals get to deal with. A whole bunch of classified military technology being put into their bodies as I'm being tortured with it, as they hurt me with it. They turn on the magnetics, and it feels like my teeth are going to pull apart.
I thought that
Like,
was interesting, and it was also
this
notable
force I
that
can't
throughout
do
the
anything
speech,
about.
Trump paid personal tribute to many of the guests who'd been brought into the House chamber, praising them,
ACAB.
uh,